A huge question in the church today has to do with Paul recommending wine drinking for Christians. In 1 Timothy 5:23, he said, "No longer drink only water, but use a little wine for your stomach's sake and your frequent infirmities." The issue here is this: the Bible repeatedly warns against abuse of strong drink, wine, and drunkenness. However, here Paul tells Timothy no longer to drink only water, but use a little wine for your stomach's sake and for your frequent infirmities. Doesn't this commend drinking? The resolution to the problem comes when you look at it from the context of scriptures. Once the entire context is understood, there is no basis here for Christians to engage in social drinking of wine or other alcoholic beverages. First, Paul says a little. He does not say a lot. Paul elsewhere urges Christian leaders to be temperate. Secondly, it was for his frequent infirmities, not for his pleasure. In other words, it was recommended for medicinal purposes only, not for social purposes. Thirdly, the Bible speaks often of the evil of wine drinking. It pronounces woes on those who drink in excess. All are warned that too much alcohol will lead to disgrace and to the judgment of God. Fourthly, Christians have been brainwashed concerning the Greek word oinos. Around the world, even lost people have been fooled. Oinos in the Greek can mean grapes on the vine, grape juice, or alcoholic wine. Listen to that again. Wine or oinos can be translated grapes on the vine, grape juice, or alcoholic wine. Brother Keith, why do we only use the word wine in English? I have no idea, because it's very obvious. When it says sweet wine, that is grape juice. When it says saving the best for last, that's grape juice, because it tasted good and it had not turned into alcohol. The sugar was still there. The context of these passages will determine whether it's grapes on the vine, grape juice, or alcohol. Fifthly, in the Bible days, wine that was used for medicine was often boiled. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, boiled wine 100% of the time when he used wine. Everybody copied him. In fact, he lived from 430 BC till about 360 BC, and then when the Alexander the Great took over the Holy Land, and then the Romans took over, they followed what he had taught. But boiling removes the alcohol from the wine. He even boiled the grape juice, oinos, or grape juice or wine. Common sense would tell anybody, and medical logic would let you know, that alcohol is not the best medicine for stomach issues. However, a small amount of grape juice has a soothing and settling effect on the stomach. Finally, the wine that was used in the biblical times was mixed with 3 parts water to 1 part wine, thus diluting it to a relatively harmless amount of alcohol. When this was taken in this minimal amount in conjunction with a meal, there was little chance in a non-alcoholic society for it to be personally or socially harmful. The same is certainly not true today, since the wine, the beer, and the whiskey that are being imbibed in our times is, by biblical standards, all strong drink. And this is even more problematic in an alcoholic culture where 1 in 10 people who begin to drink will become a problem drinker or an alcoholic. And literally, 17%, they say, will go on binges, and that causes all kind of foolishness and problems. In this context, it is better to follow the advice of Paul elsewhere when he said this: "It is good neither to eat meat, nor drink wine, nor do anything which your brother stumbles, which causes your brother to stumble, or is offended, or is made weak." And so, as a Christian, not because it does us good or bad, but because of the circumstances of our weaker brothers, both in and out of the church, we should never be social drinkers and should not have alcoholic beverages in our homes. Jesus said, "You search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and these are they which testify of me."